Welcome back to the Quiet on Set podcast. Today we're taking a closer look at the New York Times top 100 films of the 21st century. I'm Ewan and I'm joined today by Conno'r. Welcome.
Hey guys, my first time on the podcast. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, how are you feeling about that? Like, you've been a part of like some of our reviews, some of our special episodes, but this is your main first appearance here.
Yeah, I mean, even when we look back at the reviews that we've done together, I feel like I'm the reason that those reviews go on for so long. Like,
Yeah.
I even look at some of our Bong
Hey,
Joon-ho
me
stuff.
too.
I'm like, man, this could have been maybe a 8-minute review, and I turned it into 20. We both turned it into 20 minutes, but still,
Yeah.
it could be so much shorter. So I'm glad to be on a longer form podcast, especially with the conversations that we're gonna go through today. I'm just really excited about it. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, me too. I'm looking forward to this. We are gonna take a really close look at this list and the people who submitted list. We have our own ballots that we're gonna go over. We'll actually, I think, started off with a quiz that I'll quiz you on the list that should already give you a sort of consensus on what was most popular with the people who submitted it. Looking at the differences that there are between the public vote and the one from the about 500-ish industry professionals that submitted their stuff. So there's a lot to get into.
I prepped some stuff too. It's less technical based stuff on the list and how they took it, but it's more based on actual ballots and just conversational topics and stuff like that. But I mean, there's a lot to talk about with this list, especially compared to Sight and Sound, which I'll also mention later as well.
Yeah, we'll have those differences, and I think this is overall a pretty cool thing that the New York Times did here, that they went about collecting all of this data. It was for me personally, we'll have a look at that later on as well, of how much we've seen of the list, and it motivated me to try to complete the top 100. I haven't done it yet. I'm missing a few, but there was some really solid films that I finally got the nudge to finally watched them myself. You can also check the list link below. We have one on our Quiet on Set Letterboxd HQ account that also should have links if we ever talked about it in an episode. For some of the Bong Joon-ho films, you and I did reviews for them, and maybe the more the latest few films already got their own podcast episodes. All of that, you can find that, as well as all of the ratings from all the people from Quiet on Set will be in the annotations of that list. But you can also just find it, if you don't want to go to our list, if you just type in the New York Times top 100 of the 21st. It's a mouthful, but you can find it, because if you go to the New York Times, it will be blocked behind you paying for New York Times. Just letting you know that they did this, but they also are making a whole bunch of money on it, which, I mean, journalism overall, it's a good thing, but it was a bit of a hassle. I think we both ended up just paying for it for a while, although I don't really read the New York Times that much. But let's start it off with a quiz that I prepared. I got a total of 10 questions for you, Conno'r, and we'll see how well you do, how familiar you are with the list. First up, my first question about the New York Times top 100 list of the 21st century is Bong Joon-ho's Parasite is at spot number 1, right, on the list. What other film of his is on the list as well?
See, I think I remember, because okay, so my thing is, when I think about this list and I think about what's on it, the Sight and Sound, I think, only has one film per director, I believe, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
I actually don't remember.
Or no, you're right, because I think they included Twin Peaks: The Return and Mulholland Drive. So no, I was wrong. So I don't know. I was thinking Memories of Murder. I thought I saw it. I saw that, but maybe not.
Is that your pick?
That's my final lock.
Final lock in. You're actually right. It's at spot number 99. Bong Joon-ho's Memories of Murder from 2005. A movie that we've also reviewed on the channel very favorably. We really like that movie. Yeah,
so good.
All right, question number 2. There's definitely a recency bias that has to be taken into account making a list like this, collecting a top 100. What do you think? What's the most recent film that made the list?
Damn, I saw, obviously Parasite is number 1, so that's, what is that, 2021? I think
2019.
Or 20, that's 2018. Oh my god, what am I thinking? So it's post-COVID, right? So
yes, I can give you a tip. It's nothing from 2023 and 2025. At least not
Okay.
on the one from the industry professionals. There's a bunch more
So
on the public
it's
one.
got to be 2022 or 2024.
Well, the latest one is from 2023. I can give you that.
Oh.
It's and there's more than one from 2023 on the list.
Yeah.
We're just looking for the latest one. And there's some technicalities to it as well with like the release date, but
Was it like a big Cannes release? Because like that's my
technically yes, that could be. I like release date schedules taken into account. I think this one released later. That is the actual final pick because it premiered after Cannes in 2023.
right.
But there's also a Cannes movie in here. Actually, more than one.
Yeah, I see. My brain is just I I'm not gonna waste any more time.
tough.
I have no idea.
It's Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer is on the list.
Oh my god. Okay.
That is
makes so much
technically
sense.
wasn't that like June or July released in 2023,
Yeah.
right before the strikes? And
Right.
then Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest did premiere at Cannes, which is technically earlier, but then they had a release later in the year that was like the rollout. But technically, Oppenheimer is the latest one.
Okay.
And the rest of the films that are from the 2020s, there's not that many. There's apart from Anatomy of a Fall, The Zone of Interest, there's also Past Lives, Tar, After Sun, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and the last one is The Worst Person in the World.
Okay.
Those are the films that like are in from the 2020s.
Right.
I got another big one for you here. There's a lot of like, you know, bias towards the popularity of certain directors that have kind of really been influential in 21st century. So on this New York Times list, what filmmaker do you think has the most films on the list? And as a second question, also, which of his films? Which it's like a very male dominated list, I gotta say.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I want to say like, oh my god, my cat just knocked. She's knocked down the trash can in the background. Whatever.
I saw that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I want to say David Lynch, but like David Lynch doesn't have enough projects. It's literally like Mulholland Drive, Straight Story. Not sure. I think was Straight Story 9. I think that was 90s.
I think it's.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's for. I can tell you for Lynch, I think it's only Mulholland Drive, which is really high up. It's like the second highest. I don't know if there's a second one on the list of his. Well, I can give you a bit of a spoiler. There's actually a three-way tie of 3 directors who have 4 movies on the list.
Okay.
And you know, it's like, yeah, 4, yeah.
Damn, is it Nolan?
Wait, I just realized. Actually, that I made a mistake. It is Nolan, and I missed one of his films. He actually has 5 on the list.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a second. My cats are just dragging my trash can across the ground right now.
They are a menace.
Stop it! Oh my god.
Oh, they were like in the trash can as well. Look at this little perpetrator. Oh, what have you done, huh? What do you got to say for yourself?
You're gonna see on this cam, she's just so guilty.
Yeah, I'm getting the wide view, which guys don't get to see. I saw the live thing of them like kicking over the trash can and then like digging into it. It was violent.
Oh god.
But yeah, there's 5 Nolan movies on the list.
Yeah, no, that makes sense thinking about it now, because like when you first said it, I'm like, who could it be? Because like most of these directors that I know and love have so many movies from before the 2000s.
Mhm.
So I didn't know, but that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I imagine if I were to guess his movies, I imagine it would be Oppenheimer, like you said.
Yeah.
Inception.
Mhm.
I want to say Dunkirk.
No, Dunkirk's not on the
Really?
list. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Dark Knight Rises. Not Rises. Sorry, Dark Knight. Not Dark Knight Rises.
No, the whole
that
trilogy.
one.
Yeah, you got the rest.
Yeah.
No, it's The Dark Knight is also on there. It's spot number 28, and you got 2 more.
Trying to think. Why am I not? There's one I'm just not thinking about that I feel like I'd be stupid once I.
Well,
realize what
I
it
can give
is.
you another hint.
Oh, you got the physical copy.
No, I don't have the physical copy, but in this book, I think it's this book. The writer of Save the Cat shits on this film a bunch, and basically uses it as the screenwriting example of why, what Nolan did wrong.
Oh.
Why it's actually a bad movie, which made this movie to me way lesser, because it's like obviously not seeing what's great about redacted film.
Yeah. I'm so dude. My brain is. To be fair, I've not been awake for a long time, so I'm struggling to remember what this is. You can go ahead and tell me it because I'm gonna feel stupid when
But this one, this one's for his earlier film Memento, which is at spot number 62.
Oh my god, okay.
And then you miss an early Timothée Chalamet role.
Oh, Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar is
that's
also
one
on
I
the
should have just mentioned. What the hell, man? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Do you want to? No, you're all good. That's the most popular one. I kind of, as expected, right? Nolan is that guy when it comes to current like film lovers. They love him. But these other two that have 4 on the list, this is going to be tough to guess. But like, what other filmmaker or filmmakers do you think are like next up in line with most amount of films picked?
Denis?
No, actually, surprisingly, on the public list there is Incendie. There are both Dune films. There's Blade Runner 2049. I don't know if Incendie is also on there actually, but there's definitely the 2 Dune movies. There's Blade Runner on it. On the actual list, he only has, if I'm not mistaken, 1 film on there. It is. Can you guess what movie of Villeneuve is on the list? The one.
I
guess it's not. No, that one.
Or you mentioned that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, is it Arrival?
It is Arrival at spot number 29.
Okay.
That movie is popular with the industry crowd, I guess.
See, that's not my favorite Denis, but I see people mentioning that all the time in
time. Yeah.
spaces.
I've read the short story as well, which is really good too.
I need to read that, actually.
It's a great page. I think it's only like 30, 40 pages long. It's pretty easy read. But I'll reveal a couple more, and then maybe you'll get closer to it.
The more questions you ask, the more I feel like I'm like confusing myself a little bit.
It is pretty tough, I gotta say. Like I think I wouldn't have guessed it unless I would have like neatly studied this for like an hour.
Yeah.
But
because when you told me you were gonna give me tests, I didn't want to like look too hard because I'm like, man, I'm gonna But I should have looked at least a little bit more.
Well, surprisingly, Scorsese only has 2 films on the list, with The Wolf of Wall Street and The Departed. Linklater has 2 films on the list, Boyhood at 23 and Before Sunset at 49. Then Wes Anderson has 2 on the list, The Royal Tenenbaums at 21 and The Grand Budapest at 22. And there's 3 more that have 3 films on there and 2 more that have 4. The ones with 4 are a pair of brothers, the Coen Brothers, actually.
Yeah, right.
They have There Will Be Blood at 3, Phantom Thread at 25, The Master at 42, and Punch Drunk Love at 56.
Valid.
Which The Master and Punch Drunk Love on here are like Phantom Thread has so many like hardcore fans. But yeah, that's lovely to see. It makes me excited for one battle after another.
That's a good pick, though. Those 2 are good picks.
Yeah. That, like it's better than like something like Licorice Pizza popping up here. Like valid, like, great movie, but not on the top 100 of this century.
No, especially like it's not even better than Punch Drunk Love or The Master. It's like because The Master especially. Oh my god, that movie is so like revisiting that movie over the years. We'll talk about it later in terms of like how movies age. That's one of the ones I'm probably going to mention in terms of just like rewatching and like how it develops over time. It is, oh my god.
Yeah, there's certain directors that just like fully get that, and you like 10 years later we look at like Her or Ex Machina, and like these have become more relevant than ever.
Right.
There might be one Spielberg on here. I actually didn't have a look, but I don't think there might be no Spielberg.
Because I'm trying to think of like 21st century Spielberg. And like I feel like some people think he fell off. I think there's a lot of hits there, but a lot of people don't think so. I mean, I love The Fabelmans. I don't know if The Fabelmans is on. I don't think it would be.
No, I'm having another quick look through here, but there is, to my understanding, no film of his that is on the list.
Damn.
I don't know if there's one on the public one. I honestly had a closer look at like this industry one, because like the other one's a bit of like oh no, actually there is one. Can you guess which movie is on here? It stars Colin Farrell as like third billing in it. He plays a cop in it.
What the hell?
So sorry, I'm like waking up Connor and giving him like really hard questions, probing him.
No, it's not. They're not even like hard questions. I'm just like I'm so dazed. And I'm also sick as well. You can probably hear it in the recording compared to my other recordings. I have very stuffy nose right now. Colin Farrell, I don't know why I can't remember him in a Steven Spielberg movie.
The lead is Tom
And-
Cruise. I think that should give it away.
Wait, was Catch Me If You Can like 2000s?
No, I don't
No,
think
it's
so.
not that?
No,
Okay,
it's
what
not.
is
Well, when did Catch Me If You Can is from the same year, funnily enough.
Oh. Okay.
And I mean, you are in the same year, in the right year, but this movie, Tom Cruise is not in Catch Me If You Can. That's Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
But it came out the same year, which is an interesting. I know a ton of people love Catch Me If You Can. Camera swap, as you can see on Connor's end. He felt like to talk about a movie from 2002, we have to have like the.
Yeah, I have to make it look like I'm on like a MacBook webcam or something, you know?
No. It's on a film camera, on a film.
Yeah, that too.
Digital camera. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like I'm living in 28 Days Later right now.
Maybe you were just like pinged for pre-crime, which is the Spielberg movie that's on the list. Minority Report is the one that is on there.
Okay. That makes sense.
I do have a couple of more, which I can just like kind of go over. Right, the Coens we mentioned. The Coen Brothers have 4 on the list. They have No Country for Old Men at spot number 13. The Serious Man at 36. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou at 76, and Inside Llewyn Davis at 83. And that's a Coen Brothers contribution, which is also very interesting. Like A Serious Man, would you have expected that's the second highest Coen Brothers film on this list?
I would have expected it because I love A Serious Man, but in terms of like the general perception of that movie, no. It's so like bizarre as like just a concept as well as like the execution that I thought it would be too narrow of like a demographic or like the kind of people that would love that movie to like appear on a list like this. I don't even know if it's on Sight and Sound. I don't know what Coens are on Sight and Sound, but like I respect it. I'm glad it's really good. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the There Will Be Blood is no surprise. I think for a lot of people that is like the equivalent of a modern masterpiece already. And then I mean the final one here that has a bunch of films on the list. Wait, I said There Will Be Blood. I meant No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that, but okay.
Sorry, I like Freudian slip. I don't know if that's Freudian, but like we'll just call it a Freudian slip. PTA is the other one with 4 films.
Same year.
Crazy year, right?
Yeah.
What a phenomenal year.
Like most of these movies are from 2007.
Yeah. Wait, I think I already read through his films.
You did.
I'm all confused. I went with PTA and I had yet to reveal the Coen Brothers. So it's Nolan, the Coen Brothers, and Paul Thomas Anderson. Who all have 4, and there's a 3 with 3 films. That is Tarantino with Inglourious Bastards. Surprisingly, it's spot number 14, really high up. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood at 44, and Kill Bill Volume 1 at 61. Yeah, a lot of people really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it's like their feeling of like a mainstream appeal sort of auteur filmmaker that is then making a movie about the past, and it's very consumable, if that makes sense.
I mean, I really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I just do not like Tarantino as a director. So like, I think
in the same boat.
seeing his like his passion project in a way reflects him so much that I have weird feelings about the movie, despite the fact that I really like it. So seeing it on this list is kind of annoying. And I just, like I said, Tarantino, annoying dude. I think in terms of like the white boys on the top 5 of this list, he's like definitely my least favorite. Just not a fan.
Well, there's another white boy coming right up, which is David Fincher, who has also 3 on the list. I think those you could probably guess which 3 it is, right?
So. My problem is I can't remember if 7 is 7 2000s. Is that? I think it might be 90s.
Yeah, I think it is 90s. I'm pretty sure it's 90s. Okay. It's not on the list regardless, but
right. Oh my god, Zodiac.
Yeah. 7 is 95.
Social Network.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Alien 3, but the re-release that is in the 2000s.
Yeah. Is it Gone Girl?
Yes, those are the three.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, what other movies are you going to pick? Are you going to pick like Panic Room or The Killer or The Curious Case of Benjamin
I was
Button?
gonna do the girl with the dragon tattoo,
or that
was
one,
my
but
other
I don't think that one's like that popular.
No.
I
The
feel like
trailer's
I'd
popular.
definitely, yeah.
But other than that,
Mank, or what about Mank? Have we all forgotten about Mank?
Oh,
Or
God.
the sequel to The Social Network that wait, no,
oh god,
that's not him, I guess, who's directing it anymore. That's Aaron Sorkin.
no.
But
it's
he
gonna
is
be
directing the sequel to
awful.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
There's the connection. And the final filmmaker is a bit surprising. Like a bit surprising, yeah. But I guess one of those films is super popular, and it also is with the, I guess, industry voting body. And we got Alfonso Cuaron, who also has 3 on the list. Do you have an idea of what 3 films it is of his?
I think I know. So it's E2. Sorry, God. Oh my God. E2 Mama Tambien.
Yeah.
Roma.
No, Roma's not on here. Yeah.
Children of Men.
Yes.
And
And the popular one.
And you said and the popular one?
Yeah, and the popular one, yeah. Sandra Bullock and all.
Oh, Gravity?
Yeah, Gravity's on the list.
Okay. I knew it. I said it, and then my double take was like, huh? The one
Is
where
that
she
some
barks?
wicked shit, or why is
Yeah.
this defying gravity for what's supposed to be on this list? I don't think Gravity should be on. Like, it's a technical, really impressive movie,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have it in the top 100 of the century.
No. Like, it's like maybe a highlight in terms of like looking at his filmography individually,
Yeah.
but in terms of like looking at the broader film landscape of the past like 20 years, I don't know if that's the one I would mention.
Yeah.
Like Roma. That's the reason why I said Roma, is because Roma has amazing filmmaking and stuff that I remember very vividly, and it also has a very compelling story and a very compelling like narrative behind how Alfonso Cuarón made that movie, and just like so many different things. But with Gravity, it's like all I remember is the filmmaking elements and the fact that Sandra Bullock barked by herself in a space shuttle for some reason. I don't remember why. It's just comforting yourself or something.
I can tell you that on the public list, Roma is at spot number 124.
Okay.
So because if you go onto it, they list the top like 500 films that,
Right.
for example, like Punch Drunk Love is at spot number 103. It doesn't make the list. Someone like Jordan Peele only has 1 movie on the list, but Nope, for example, on the public one is at 104. It's interesting. Like, you can definitely spend like an hour or two just having a look at like what makes it onto one list and what not on the other. I have a separate thing for that, I guess, a bit later on. But I have another question for you. We're about halfway through. This is, I gotta say, not like I don't think it's like that difficult, but it's another pretty tough one. Can you name the 5 comedies that are on the list? Like, that being said, there's 26 films that have like the comedy tag onto it, but I selected the 5 that are like just the pure comedies, right? There's no like bigger genre thing going overall.
I'm gonna go Superbad.
Yes.
So it's A Serious Man, that counts, right?
I didn't count it here, but I'll count it.
To me, that's a comedy, but like
it is a comedy. It is a comedy, but
Yeah.
I went with the ones that are clearly just like it's jokes all the way through.
Okay.
I mean, A Serious Man is also very much a comedy, yeah.
Yeah. Superbad's kind of strange to me as like an entry, but we'll talk about that later with the ballots and everything. Oh my god. I'm struggling to remember. Is there anything that we've talked about already that could appear?
No, there's one that is very much just one character actor that does like big transformations, and a gotcha thing that is on the list here. I don't know if that helps. And it got a sequel too, which actually 2 of these films got a sequel. The other one's about like a workplace thing. I don't know how much I should give hints, but like it is pretty tough.
Oh my god. Office something. What's it called?
Oh, Office Space. I think that is an older film, but that is not like.
Oh, you're right.
It's from the. One of my questions initially was which Spielberg film is on the list, and I wanted to have 3 and then list Schindler's List on it to have a gotcha, like sort of thing. But I realized, there's only 1 on the list. No, there's no Spielberg. No, Minority Report is on the list. I stand corrected. No, one of them stars Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay. Borat?
Yeah, Borat's on the list at 53.
Okay. It's odd.
The other one's with Will Ferrell. It's like his first name is Ron in that movie.
Oh my god, Anchorman?
It's Anchorman. Yeah, Anchorman's on the list.
Okay. You're gonna have to walk me through these like I'm a child, to be honest, because like I'm not gonna know any of these.
I mean, that's surprising to me as well. Like, I think Anchorman is funny. I gave that a 7 out of 10. I don't see that as like one of the best. But that's the thing.
No.
Like, surprisingly, there's a lot of comedies on this list. One of them is For the Gals, and that's the one that's the highest rated ones. It's about like a wedding and an ensuing cast of chaotic memories that are made.
Is the I think I remember this one. Was it Best in Show?
Best in Show, yes, that's another one that's on here. Yeah, you got all but one. The highest rated one. Movie with Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Rose Byrne, Crystal Dowd. Yes, Bridesmaids is at spot number, I think, like 36 or something. No, 32 actually. It's crazy.
That one makes sense. Actually,
it is very popular.
Not that it's so high, but like that it's popular and it makes sense for that reason.
I mean, there's a ton more. Like Parasite is listed as a comedy. The Wolf of Wall Street. Tenenbaums Budapest adaptation is listed as that. Lost in Translation. Lady Bird. Amélie. Up, The Favorite, a lot of films, like Little Miss Sunshine, which I like. That's the stuff where it's like it's not full on a comedy, right? So I didn't consider it for this. But Oh Brother Where Art Thou, it would be a comedy too, and maybe some of the animated films. So Everything Everywhere at Once also is like very much in that comedy lane. But you got them all, impressively. You did get. And also the craziest thing, you pulled the craziest one with Best in Show out there. Like I had never heard of that movie.
Because I love Christopher Guest. That's my only thing. But I mean, if I didn't know anything about Christopher Guest, I wouldn't. Dude, my brain literally mush, and so like to have me remember certain things, I just need to have repeated them so many times. So with Christopher Guest, I had seen his movies so many times. I'm like, okay, that's the one I know.
Well, I do have another question for you. We're getting to the shorter ones, I'd say. There are a couple of animated films on the list, 4 in total, 3 of them from Pixar and 1 from Studio Ghibli. Can you name all of them?
Toy Story 3.
No. Yes.
Is the Toy Story on there?
No Toy Story is on the list.
Jesus. Okay. It's Up on there?
Up is on there, yeah.
Okay.
Toy Story 3 is 138 on the public vote, though. But it's also not on the top 100.
Right. Is Spirit Away the one that got through?
Yeah. Okay. Highest rated one at spot number 9.
That makes sense. Jesus Christ. Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo? No. Surprisingly, I think that is like, for some reason, that's my earliest memory of watching a film in theaters. Yeah. It's at 152 on the public vote. But no, it's another, like, it's 2 movies that have not gotten any sequels, if that helps.
Oh. Coco?
No, Coco's not on here. Would very much deserve to be on here, though, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Coco is 137 on the public list.
Okay. Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. is also not on here.
Oh, right, you said the sequels. Yeah,
no sequels. No sequels.
Jesus Christ, dude. When this comes out, I'm gonna feel so stupid, dude. It's gonna be like a documented like evidence of me
I'll give you another hint for one of them. One of them was referenced heavily in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
See, the thing is, I don't remember Everything Everywhere All at Once very vividly, so like
shit. Okay, that's no help then. Wait, I can give you the final 2 if you don't feel up for it.
Just go ahead, because dude, I'm gonna feel so stupid, dude. You go ahead and break the news.
Not gonna lie, I can't really break this. It's Wall-E and Ratatouille.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, it was that was gonna. You had to pull the band-aid off me. That was gonna hurt no matter what.
Yeah. I mean, 2 great films. I personally, when we did the Pixar bracket, which was this cursed thing of everything tech-wise going wrong, which is not, too different from the experience that we usually have when we record. So it feels fitting that throws a wrench into it. Wall-E, I think the 2 times we did a Pixar bracket, I ended up taking home the whole, winning the whole thing.
Okay. It's valid. Sorry. I will just say it is very funny. This is my first podcast, my first recording, and I am just I'm not being
This is-
invited to the function ever again.
I'm sorry. I thought I was gonna give you a bit of like easy layup for like people. Oh my god, Connor's got the film knowledge. He's just pulling this left and right, and it's backfired heavily.
Oh god.
Okay, I'm giving you an easier one for the next one. Do you think there are? Well, it's a coin toss thing. Do you think there are more films from like 2000 to 2009 on the list, or from 2010 onwards?
I want to say from 2000 to 2009.
There's more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct about that. There's 51, barely, but yeah, just a bit more top heavy for, I guess, the first 9 or 10 years, and then the last 15. Which also just the recency bias that we wanted to also, you know, talk about a bit is definitely not really that relevant. At least for the people who were pulled for the official top 100. All right, this is not a really tough one. I don't expect you to get this. If you get this, this is actually crazy. Can you guess what the shortest and the longest film on the list are? I can give you the runtime as well. Not that that would help much, but the shortest is 80 minutes and the longest is 181.
Okay, longest is Oppenheimer.
Yes, you got it.
And shortest.
I can say that it was one of the films that I submitted on my ballot as well. I don't know if you know what I submitted, but it is one of my favorite films.
Is it animated?
No, it's not animated. No.
So it's one that you've seen
that I love a lot, that I talk about way too much.
Damn. See, when you said it wasn't animated, now I'm having a hard time because there's a lot of animated movies that are really short. That I think about. Yeah,
but this one is only 80 minutes, and I think it's I have one more like big tip for you that I think you'd get it immediately if I say.
Okay.
Is
it one of your favorite movies?
Yes.
In general.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might actually be on my top 4 currently. Yeah, it is. So now he will reveal if he actually knows me or not. This is not just a test about film wits. It's also about interpersonal relationship here.
Jesus
Pass the test.
Christ, a lot on the line right now.
Yeah, so much.
Is it okay? This might be a big hint, but is it after 2010s?
No, it's before 2010s.
Okay, I'm just a horrible friend right now, man.
Actually, let me have a look what the shortest animated movie would be up, and that one's 96 minutes. So
damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh god.
It is part I think this one kind of gives it away quite a bit. It is part of a trilogy.
Oh, before Sunrise.
Sunset.
Or Sunset.
Yeah,
Sunset.
Close enough.
Sunset.
Yes, he said Sunset. He said Sunset.
Sunrise is 96, so that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's currently in my top 4. And whenever we talk about favorite trilogies, it's the one that I bring up first, which also is very surprising that only Fellowship is on the top 100. Neither Two Towers or Return of the King are on the top 100. Return of the King is on the public one, but not on the other. I think people just didn't want to submit, like, you know, I saw the fake ballots that just had all of the Fast and Furious movies.
I love those.
That was really funny.
My God. So good.
All right, I got another tough one that we can breeze through if you because it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
There's 3 documentaries on the list.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas what they are? To be fair, like, it's really tough. None of them are like American documentaries.
I want to say Active Killing, but I don't.
Yeah, that's the one. 82. Yeah, that's the highest rated one. Mm-hmm.
Is there another Oppenheim one?
No.
Okay. My favorite is Look of Silence, but
yeah. Let me check where it is on the other list. No. If you have another guess, go ahead.
Bowling for Columbine. I don't think that one's on there.
No American one. Another one's French.
Oh, right. You mentioned that. Yeah, one was French. Okay.
The other one is from a Austrian-German director. I actually don't. Yeah.
When we say Austrian, I always think of Haneke or Hanukkah, whatever.
Hanukkah, yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, he never made any documentary.
No. I don't know if you noticed, but he has a new film coming out at Venice this year.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's exciting.
Not Haneke. Sorry, I meant the director who has.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm about
Also
to say, I'm like, he's gonna wait until him and what's his name? The guy that made Quiet Place, John.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, until they can do another round table.
Yeah.
That was so funny. Okay. Are they like a documentary filmmaker?
No. I don't know if it's German or Austrian, but he's very much known for his nonchalant approach and being very much in the center of his documentaries. But he also makes fiction films. He also has made one of his films as a documentary and then made it as a fiction film a couple of years later. I took a course on him in uni. It was very interesting.
I don't know. Well,
should I give you the director's name? It's tough still to guess the movie correctly. I don't know if I would have gotten it then. It's Werner Herzog.
Oh,
do you have an idea what the movie? Yeah.
Is the movie called Grizzly Bear, or like what's it called?
Grizzly Man. Yes, Grizzly exactly. Man. Yeah,
is that the
great
one?
documentary. Yeah, that's the one.
And so the other one. Who was it was a French director, right?
Yeah, French woman. She since passed away, has made amazing films, gone underappreciated. I have one more tip for you, but you still probably won't guess the film itself.
Well, Ewan's away. I have one in mind.
Actually, I do have one more tip. When I ordered Criterions, this was one of the boxes that I ordered.
Oh.
From this filmmaker, and it unfortunately got ripped apart in shipping.
So
yes, Agnes Varda.
Yeah, which I'm sorry about.
No, you're all good. I think it definitely wasn't your fault. This is tough. Like because she has in 2000s, she has. This is the one that came out in 2000, but she also has the Beaches of Wagner, Beaches of Agnes. Sorry, and then Agnes through Agnes or. Agnes Desi de la Varda, which is Agnes, Varda by Agnes. Jesus, I'm having a stroke as well. Those movies, having seen, I also took a course on her in uni, made me cry so much. It was so beautiful. Like I would have picked other films over this. This is The Gleaners and I.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah,
that's her. Like I think one of her more popular films. Definitely like from the documentary side. She also made like Chloe from 9 to 7, La Bonheur. Yeah, she has a bunch of stuff that is worth seeing. But amazing. That's the documentaries: The Act of Killing, The Gleaners and I, and Grizzly Man. Definitely, like I haven't seen The Act of Killing yet. That's one of the 6 that I haven't seen.
Fantastic movie.
I can't say I'm looking forward to it. I think that's the wrong phrasing, but I'm very curious to because so far I've only seen like weird apocalyptic musicals from Dr. Oppenheimer with the end, all right, we got a final question. I guess you already said what documentaries you would love to would have preferred over here. The Look of Silence, would it be for you?
Yeah, there's one I'm going to mention in my personal top 10 that I'm just going to leave for that for that reveal.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, one last question here. Question number 10. There's notably an absence of horror movies on this list. Regardless, there are 4 films on here that have the tag on Letterboxd. Could you name them?
I want to say, I think I remember there being some discourse on Twitter about there not being The Thing on there, but
The Thing
is on there. Yeah.
I mean, The Thing would be way older.
Not The Thing. What the hell, bro? Dude, I'm telling you, I gotta wake up still, dude. Okay. I'm thinking about the Sight and Sound list, but we're gonna ignore that. I'm gonna stop conflating the two. Okay. Let's see.
Did you mean Us or like some other Jordan Peele?
I think it might have been a Jordan Peele project, yeah. Because is Get Out on there?
Get Out is at spot number 8. It's really high up.
Okay. Damn. That's crazy. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Then there's an international one. There's one that I would barely consider. It's from the filmmaker who made The Zone of Interest. And then there's one from Aronofsky that's on the list.
Under the Skin?
Under the Skin, yes. That's one of them. Spot number 69.
Damn, okay. See, the thing is, I want to say like Hereditary, but I don't.
Yeah, no Ari Aster movies on the list. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like what like a filmmaker would love, and like what like horror movies filmmakers really loved. I don't
I think one of them you won't get because it's really tough, because it's, I think, a Danish or no, let me check, a Danish or Norwegian film. It's Swedish actually. Everyone just kind of died silently over in those parts of the world.
Yeah,
because they don't like to be confused with each other. But that one's Let the Right One In. And there's an American remake with it, right, with Chloe Grace Moretz, I believe.
That makes a lot of sense. That movie's really good.
Yeah, which is called Let Me In from Matt Reeves. And
I'm not talking about the American one. The American one's not good, but I'm saying that the original.
I haven't seen that yet. That's one of the other ones that I haven't seen yet.
It's great.
The last one is an Aronofsky one.
Is it Black Swan?
It is Black Swan. Yes.
Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Soon. See, I can't even think about Darren Aronofsky normally anymore after The Whale came out. I feel like I've had such a disdain for that movie that like ever since, like everything else he's made has been tainted to me. You need like a reset. Well, I think like a lot of the things that like tripped you up is because you were looking so much at the Sight and Sound list. So maybe we can look at like some of the submissions from the directors and like the stuff that you wanted to talk about, like the individual submissions and the difference between that and the Sight and Sound list. Well, the Sight and Sound, the thing is about what I was going to say in terms of a conversational topic is that the idea that a movie needs to have a couple years to actually be a classic is not as persistent, or not persistent. It doesn't really pertain towards this list because it's only 21st century. Whereas Sight and Sound, there's a very rare 21st century movie on that list every like 10 movies. Most of it is from the like everything like 90s, 80s, like pretty much everything before the 2000s. And there's a couple that made it through. But with this, obviously, you know, the most a movie could age is 25 years, which is still a lot. But in terms of like what is a classic, a lot of the time it's hard to really like know how a movie is going to age when it came out, like, you know, a couple years ago. Like I know Worst Person in the World's on there as well. Like that movie came out in 2023, I think. With two?
I don't actually. Yeah, I think 20. Yeah, somewhere around then. I don't actually remember. I would have said like 2021, but I think that's too far back. It kind of been. Yeah. No, I think it might have been 2021 actually.
Because I'm trying. It was. I don't know. That cam was kind of big. It was like a big.
Yeah, 2021,
back, I believe. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. It was with After Sun. I remember that.
That was 2022.
Or remember, I'm just gonna ignore my gut at this point in terms of like guessing on things. Yeah, I mean, like with this list, it's definitely like a lot more. Like when you look at like, I don't know, I was looking a lot at like people like Robert Eggers' list, who has like a couple classics that like are classics at this point. Like he has Beau Travail from
Beau Travail. Yeah.
You got it. I'll let you let you pronounce it. And he's got like The Piano Teacher. He's got like There Will Be Blood, Mulholland Drive, obviously. And then he has a couple like newer ones. He has Burning, Mr. Turner. He has Son of Saul on there. There's a couple like directors that would like just throw in like newer films onto their list to you know, like this is like one of the first times out, because with Sight and Sound, you gotta like mention the classics. Like you're talking about like 50s, 40s, you know, whatever. But with this, I feel like you can be more recent.
Yeah, I think there's a certain bit of like, this can also be, it can be in parts like Robert Eggers' list does feel a bit like a spotlight, maybe on some less discussed films. You can also include a bit more of like favorites. Like I've seen some people, I think someone has like, I think Rachel Zegler has like Mean Girls in there, or like someone has Mean Girls. Someone had Mean Girls in there. Like you don't need to have like only Godfather and only the ones that are like the like objectively best made movies. You can have your favorites a bit more in there with that bias, which I think is less the case with Sight and Sound.
Yeah, Sight and Sound is very like canon based. Like it's like needs to be something that's like that is taught at film schools like right now. Which is valid for that list, but for this, I mean, you look at Luca Guadagnino's list, and it's like Ghosts of Mars by John Carpenter. It's like Fat Girl, which has an interesting history for that movie. He has like Redacted by Brian De Palma. He has a couple that just like aren't really well known.
His highest one that he has, the only one that made the list, is In the Mood for Love.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
It makes sense. Because,
honestly, like, looking at Guadagnino's list, it doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Like it's very much his list.
It's his taste, right?
Like and and a bunch of stuff that like I honestly haven't heard of. He obviously loves Catherine Breillat quite a bit, because I think Fat Girl isn't that also from her?
It is.
He also has Sex is Comedy.
Yeah, I do love that he put Millennium Mambo on there. Spoilers, that's on my list. I'm just gonna spoil that one because
I haven't seen that
movie,
one.
it's so incredible. I think a lot of people are coming around to it, like now that it has a restoration out. But for the longest time, it was really hard to find, and like the way that movie uses music, editing, montage, all this kind of stuff. It's just, that movie's so beautiful. It's so good. But I'm really glad to see that one. See, like with Luke Guadagnino and like some other directors, I'm very glad to see that they just didn't like try to put in like canon films. They're just putting their favorites in. Like Barry Jenkins, he went a little more recent with his list. Like he has like Nickel Boys on there. He has Saint Omer. He has Vortex. Obviously, the rest of his list is more like older stuff. Like he has like Zodiac, Punch Drunk Love, Elephant. Elephant's a interesting pick. I actually really appreciate that one. And then he has like Once Upon a Time in Anatolia, which is a really like valid pick. And that's honestly what I'll mention about this. In terms of like looking at the individual ballots, it's really nice seeing like these very what's the word? Like these very unpopular picks, because like I'm glad I am able to see like, you know, movies that we don't see mentioned that often, that we like, you know, like Elephant. Like I would never expect Elephant to be on the main list, but to see like someone want to mention it in the same breath as some of these other movies is really interesting to me.
Definitely. I mean, when we'll get to ours, I think for me, what's really telling is that 9 of my 10 are all on the top 100. So I think I kind of went normie in my picks a bit.
It's not normie. I mean, there's a reason why they're in the top 100, you know?
Yeah, but I just didn't see myself. Well, we can talk about that a bit later on. I'm really happy to see Synecdoche, New York on Barry Jenkins' list, because that barely missed out on the public one. I think it's at 101, but people also, you know, publicly voted for that a lot.
And I mean, like, it is kind of funny looking at like people that don't make movies that aren't in filmmaking have lists too, because like you have like Stephen King, who put like Black Hawk Down on his list, and The Rule of Ginny Penn, like you know,
that is strange. I mean, he also has Train to Busan, and the rest, $1 Million Baby, and the rest of them that he put are all on the list. We haven't talked about Brokeback Mountain yet, but that's also on there. Ang Lee.
I'm so happy for that movie, honestly, because like there's the longest time where that movie was kind of like on, especially online, it was like more of like a meme rather than like a movie that people took seriously.
But the
like
gay cowboys.
That's I feel like recently it's gained like a new life, which I'm really happy about.
Wasn't there like recently a rerun of it in theaters as well for an anniversary?
Yeah, there was, and it was like I never got to see it in theaters, but seeing the amount of people come around to that movie and like having not seen it before and all that kind of stuff, it's just like, it's so cool to me that this movie still has like a staying power. And like most people that haven't even seen that movie know the score, they know the music in that movie. I think that to me, in terms of like what I'm seeing on these lists, movies that I vividly remember from like that came out like 10 years ago that I might have seen like a couple years ago or 10 years ago or whatever, those to me feel like some like really, really important movies to mention on these lists. Like The Social Network is such an obvious one to me. I feel like even if you haven't seen The Social Network, it's such a huge piece of like modern pop culture that like is just integral to understanding like where movies are right now, and like how important Fincher is as a director and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, I feel like there's like in this list is like a perfect blend of like personal picks and like just like what can be considered in like the modern canon.
I'm just having a look at the Mikey Madison's, which is also quite interesting, because there's she has 2 films from Sean Baker on there, Florida Project and Tangerine. She has also great taste and put Before Sunset on there, Almost Famous, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, yes, my queen, Mad Max, and then Girl with the Needle, really recent film that I love that movie too. And then Vicky Cristina Barcelona, which is I haven't seen that one. Javier Bardem, Penelope Cruz, Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I have.
And then Blue is the Warmest Color, which I've had actually, like, I think that movie, I don't know how it is received like currently. I think like it won the Palme d'Or in Cannes. I don't know if it went all the way to an international Oscar, but I think a lot of like I've seen a lot of people talk about this film afterwards, where it was definitely more voyeuristic than it was like anything else. And I haven't. I think I watched it at one point, but yeah, I don't remember much of it, because like a lot of it is just the sex scenes. Those stick with you, and they're like very explicit.
That's one movie that didn't age well too, in terms of like the controversy around that movie and how the actors came out and like we're like we were so uncomfortable while making this, and it's like I feel like that in itself should kind of ruin a movie's reputation, especially if it's about like sexuality and intimacy. If in the actual filming of it they were violating the private, like the boundaries of these actors, the actresses, I feel like to me that should disqualify it.
But isn't it also like
this?
Male filmmaker making a movie about lesbians is also it's very French. It's just very French. It's like it goes in the same way of like convicted pedophiles will continue praising them and giving them Caesar awards and shit like that. So yeah, anything else that like stood out to you that anyone else's list? I'm just like I didn't look at this because you basically are looking at this a bit more with the individual lists, but I'm just scrolling through and like seeing Charles Melton. Like he also has Brokeback Mountain, he has The Social Network, There Will Be Blood, Old Boy, Memories of Murder, but he also has Oslo, August 31st. He has a like, does he have, apart from Brokeback Mountain, A Knight's Tale is on there, and I guess he had 2 other American films that are also on the list, but then he has Broker, I Saw the Devil, like a ton of like Korean / Japanese cinema, especially Korean. Yeah, I love seeing that, like the international influence on the list. Not around.
That's one thing I'll mention is that like a lot of like the smaller picks, like the both the smaller picks and like the new picks, like a lot of people put in like stuff like queer and like
did they?
I think Celine Song put in queer.
All right, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah,
John Turturro had like Perfect Days in his, and like Decision to Leave. Both those obviously didn't make the final list, but it's cool to see a lot of these directors using this ballot to be able to shout out movies that have been like really recent. Because I feel like the past 5 years have been really, honestly, despite the fact that a lot of people are complaining about like how, you know, the state of movies right now, especially state of theaters, stuff like that, there's still so many amazing movies coming out like every year that it takes a couple of years to find them.
Sure, yeah.
As much as like you know, certain movies make big splashes and we hear about them for like the rest of the year, there are certain other movies we don't really like know about, or even if we know about them, we saw like maybe a couple like 6 out of 10s or like 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd or whatever on them out of film festivals, and we're like, okay, we're not gonna check that one out. And then a lot more people check it out when it's like widely released. It's just, you know, these movies find new life.
I've noticed it a lot that like I love having an opinion about a film and a rating in my mind before I know even other people coming out of the theater at a festival premiere of what they think of it. Because sometimes I like have to stick to my guns to say like stick to my gun. Sorry, cut that out. No, I'm leaving it in, but just so you know, I make bad jokes all the time. But then whenever it releases, it like so completely shifts how people talk about it. And sometimes for certain movies I wish that they had played at a festival to have that preemptive time when the discourse sometimes doesn't go into what I believe to be the wrong direction. And you've sometimes seen it recently with Sundance, from the digital to selection, that people who, I don't know how much they are in the film space regardless, I think they're just like kind of film festival, let's go to it, that like, you know, the controversies with the capturing and clipping and all that stuff, when it happens at a festival, that definitely ruins that aspect of it, which is that exclusivity. And then people just don't really care about that stuff, I think, that much anymore. They're more willing to wait until at one point, not even maybe when it releases wide, but when it comes out on VOD, or they're not even in a premium VOD like window, they wait for it to be like actually like a VOD price right later on.
Right.
And it takes a long time for some people, some films to like for some films to even be accessible, right? But and some never get like a proper like rollout or release in certain markets.
Yeah. I mean, even seeing stuff through like the online Sundance sometimes, like despite the fact that that's more accessible, some of the movies that I've seen like 2 years ago still haven't like been released yet. Like it's crazy. Like there's this one movie that came out finally this year called like Tendaberry, which I think is fantastic and one of my favorite movies I've seen this year, or not this year, I guess the year that I had watched it. But it finally came out in January through movie, but it was like a kind of like a shadow release because they were like, oh, now it's coming out on the streaming service for movie, like just randomly. And it's like stuff like this happens all the time, and it's important that when people like design lists like this, or they make ballots or whatever, that if you're going to be like a critic or something, seeking out movies that might not have like the biggest acclaim, or just giving them a shot yourself is pretty important to like uh helping movies get a second life. I feel like once
Yeah.
if film criticism were too objective, certain movies would just like be lost in the abyss for forever because of like maybe 10 critics saying that it was like not good, even though like movies are so subjective
Yeah.
most of the time. And some of the time there are movies that like don't deserve to like be mentioned in these kind of lists, but like I mean, I feel like it's still important to like recognize like personal tastes and stuff like that.
It's really tough because like often you go to a festival or see a niche film that clicks for a certain type of audience, but then the spotlight becomes really difficult because if you don't have like unequivocal praise for it, then it almost feels like you're hindering it, because like you said, you see a bunch of ratings that are 6 out of 10 or 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That would mean skip worthy, I'm not checking that out. It's like, yeah, I don't know, there needs to be like the sort of full-on hit that like people will say it's the best of the year. I think for especially these revival things that you can have as like a critic, sort of that influence, I think what is becoming more effective is just featuring and introducing a film, if that makes sense, which is something that I want to do a bit more, where we just like give the information out there, because often I think it is an information issue. You don't really have access to like, hey, here's something else to check out, here's something where you can watch this and that, go seek it out, it's like this. Like it's like you almost have to pitch certain things to people because there's just an abundance of everything. Like, why would you not rewatch your latest like whatever comfort sitcom or TV show or Love Island? Like, why would you break out of that, right?
Especially when it costs money too. Like
exactly,
it
right?
Costs a bit of money to like get into these things, whether it be at a theater or online through
Yeah.
like, a service or something. There are certain directors, like certain modern directors that like are very online, that have been more like pro like pirating and stuff like that. That's a whole nother conversation, obviously. But like directors that are like, oh, you can watch my movie through like whatever link you find. Just like, I'm glad that you're watching the movie. Obviously, another conversation, but it just goes to show that like there are reasons why certain movies get more attention, or certain movies are more accessible, because there's more information and more like kind of guidance given to audiences and stuff like that.
And I think that is valuable that they have services that are definitely like more than the curator than an assembly, like a movie, although they are drenched in controversy themselves with their like current ties with like Israel. Like, we have an upcoming event happening in Switzerland, which is sponsored by a bank, and we just got a letter the other day that is calling the 500 and something theaters that are participating in like Cinema Day, where it's like half the price to go to a theater, to like basically boycott, join this boycott, because they have ties to like profit of like Israeli warfare and the occupation of Gaza and all that. So it's like it gets really tricky with all of these ties, that even like I always think back to that when someone pointed out that like the heads of A24 were just people from Focusrite or like from 20th Century who like split off to do their own thing. It's not like that these people come from the ground up to feature indie films. It's usually just like, oh no, they see like a niche that then gets explored, and it ultimately like always drives up to the model where I feel like A24 is currently at a point where they are bad at like marketing and putting their films into theaters. Like, they butchered the release of Sorry Baby, and that like is not helping these movies, right? I don't know if like that movie gets that second life now that it is out on VOD, or maybe they know more than we do, and they actually know that like in theaters Sorry Baby is not going to play well. It makes sense to like focus on the premium VOD release later on. I don't know. It's a weird space, right, man. I don't know how to navigate it fully.
It's so weird. Most often it's like very like profit motivated. I mean, like you mentioned with the like funding from like Israel and stuff like that. It's just like a lot of the time, like instead of actually focusing on the art, this happens a lot in music as well, obviously. Most of the time money doesn't go to artists, it goes to like the big heads, big wigs or whatever in this industry, and it's like hard to like make stuff accessible when these people that are making this stuff accessible, or at least trying to, are so like motivated by making sure something is profitable and making sure that something makes its money back, rather than like actually wanting art to be made.
I mean, dude, the thing with like Spotify and them pushing
Yeah.
AI bands onto like us that into the Discover Weekly, which I think for me is like I love listening through my Discover Weekly, but it's like I got months or weeks when it is like total shit, and then sometimes it's like back to being semi decent. But you can definitely feel when they're promoting something that is not based on your listening habits, but just because they want to get a bunch more listens in. And then like notably very greedy company and shitty CEO.
Evil.
But yeah, you can find that everywhere. Unfortunately, it's so institutionalized, and all we can do on an individual level is go seek out these great movies. And for me, like I said, I think it helped for me. I think I had like 23 films that I haven't seen yet. I watched 17 of them. Now I'm down to 6, right? Do you want to, before we share our personal top 10 list, do you want to like briefly go over the films that you have yet to see from the list?
Yeah, so in terms of what I haven't seen 10 of the movies that are listed. Though to be fair, I feel like some of them I have not logged, and I probably need to log. Like I've seen Best in Show, but I haven't logged it for some reason.
Right.
I haven't seen Almost Famous. I think we talked about that on a favorites episode that we did a little bit ago.
Yeah.
I haven't seen A Separation by Farhadi.
Me neither. Yeah.
I thought I had seen A Prophet. I maybe have seen bits of it throughout the course of like, getting in the movies and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna say, as of right now, no. The ones I haven't seen, so I haven't seen obviously Separation, like I mentioned. I'm just gonna say for right now I haven't seen A Prophet, though I think I've seen like a bit of it. So I don't, whatever. I haven't seen Almost Famous, The Lives of Others. I've seen Best in Show, so that's not. I gotta log that one at some point. I haven't seen Tony Erdmann. That's one I'm really excited to check out.
Yeah.
Just everything I've heard about that. I think you've seen it, right?
Yeah, I've watched. I hadn't seen it before, and actually never heard of it. And this list was the reason why I ended up checking it out.
I mean, I've heard amazing things about it, so I'm glad that
I like it. It's very like you either like are very uncomfortable and don't like what's going on, because it's like I don't know if it like fully it swings big, and then maybe it doesn't connect for everyone, but I appreciate it for that. Like, right. But I'm so surprised that something like that makes it onto the list. It's actually like so surprising.
It seems like it was a big splash at Cannes when it came out.
Yeah, I think that was just before, because I think anything before 2018, I've liked movies. I've had my own collection, just like gathering up stuff from flea markets, but I never like actively was like an actual like cinephile already. I think that kind of came out of like shortly before COVID when I really started doing that. So a lot of like that stuff, like kind of the gun movies from that year and the niche stuff, I really, I'm catching up on that.
Yeah, I mean, I was only 15 when it came out, so
yeah. But if you look at like the amount of films that, even though you have seen something and you haven't even locked it yet, like you are far like beyond me when it comes to like the stuff you've seen. So
yeah, I mean, it was mostly just because like
this guy watches
COVID,
movies.
I locked myself up, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna watch a bunch of stuff instead of like emotionally developing as a human.
Right. Very relatable.
Yeah. Why is Grizzly Man showing up? I've seen that. I literally have it rated. Okay, whatever. Fish Tank I haven't seen, which I'm really excited to check out actually.
That one's great, yeah.
And my last one is Voltaire, which I love. Yeah, I love Almodovar.
We have a bunch of overlap. Like I haven't seen Voltaire, I haven't seen Separation and A Prophet. And then the other ones I haven't seen was Let the Right One In. I haven't seen Amour, but that's another one that like I think premiered at Cannes, right? And had like big splash, made a big splash there. And then The Act of Killing. It's the one documentary that I haven't seen.
Honestly, Amour might be like a big favorite for you. I imagine just knowing that movie.
Yeah, I had that feeling for a while. I don't know why I haven't booted it up yet. Because I think I own it. Though. Exactly, but if the thing is, I'm in my sad boy era, and I have been for like 6 years, so it's all good. It's all good, baby girl. I'll keep going. I don't know, it's just my vibe. So I think I'll enjoy that one quite a bit. But yeah, looking forward to checking those out. Definitely let us know what you haven't seen, or maybe some discoveries that you've made, maybe even from the public one. But if we were to like submit our own 10 films, I can start off. Like I said, there's a ton of stuff that is on the actual list. The only film that I have on my 10 that did not make it onto the actual like final list was a Hirokazu Koreeda movie called Still Walking. That one is number 449 on the public list. So I'm really happy that it's like still on there, because like you had to type in the Japanese like but Western way of like writing it, because you couldn't write Still Walking. That's not the title. Like it was a bit of work to even get that in, so that it even makes the top 500 is still quite impressive. And I love that movie. I'm a huge fan of Hirokazu Koreeda. Then I have Memories of Murder. I have Before Sunset. I have Perfect Days. I have Uncut Gems, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and Parasite. 3 movies from 2019. I think that like in recent memory, that has been such a strong year for cinema, and that's kind of represented here. Like my 4th runner-up would be Marriage Story. Like those 4 were like my 5 stars of the year. Then an action movie, Mad Max Fury Road. I kind of had to decide between Blade Runner 2049 and this one, Whiplash and Aftersun. And what I noticed is like I only have 3 movies that were from like my earliest movie is Before Sunset from 2004. So I definitely have a bias of like more recent releases.
Yeah, I mean, like also like I mean, when you're getting into movies at a certain age, it's like that, you know, couple of years, especially since like you said around like 2018 2019 for you, you really got into movies. Like that's like 2 amazing years, especially 2019 obviously, so it makes sense that like Parasite and Portrait of a Lady on Fire would make it on there.
Like it's the year that when I actually started studying, was in the fall of 2019. So when I did a year of like film production. That's where Lachlan and I have met. We did that for a year, which was short films, and you know we watched some stuff there as well. But like then the couple of years at uni doing like film studies was way more analytical, like film analysis, film history, film theory, and that added a lot of excitement to like, you know, try to like see how much there actually is out there to go watch. That's my list. What about yours?
That's a great list. I honestly, I wish that I had, because my thing is that I had that list made on the website a while back and I can't find it. So I'm just gonna have to go off of the list that I have on here, which one of them I remember not being able to find it on the website. So I'm just gonna break the rules and be like, you know, because it's 2000, but it's just not on there, and it's one of the documentaries. I'm just gonna list it as like my first one. I don't have it ranked. It's just like the top 10 or whatever. It's As I was moving ahead. Occasionally I saw brief glimpses of beauty, and this is by, I can't remember the, it's a Jonas Mekas. He is where is he from? I don't think it says. I think he's from Lithuania. Okay, but it's basically like this compilation of around like 30 years of like home video that he had made and was shooting. Jonas Mekas in general, I don't know if you've heard about him. He is a really, really big documentary filmmaker that worked with a lot of like directors and stuff. I think one of his bigger movies that he made was like on the production of what was it? Let me find it, because he was on the production with a certain director. I cannot remember for me. Martin Scorsese. He was on the set with Martin Scorsese while he was filming The Departed. And he just made a documentary about that. And the way that he makes documentaries is so fragmented and really abstract, but in a way that he's able to sort of make all this really compelling like montage and like abstract, almost like Brackage, or what's his name? Something Brackage. Is that the experimental filmmaker's name?
I actually don't know.
But I think his name is Brackage, or Brakhage. He made a lot of experimental short films in the 80s and 90s, and I think Jonas Mekas was inspired so much by that in terms of how he compiles all this home video and some of this more mundane stuff. It just, oh my god, I'm only talking about it so much because it's like the one movie that I wish was on was mentioned in any
it's
sort of way
definitely out there.
Yeah,
what a pick.
Also, it is 288 minutes long.
Oh, okay.
it's a hefty movie. Oh my god. But it's amazing. So that's my first one. I'm just gonna count my fingers to make sure because it's like whatever. So the first movie, Patterson, Columbus. Then I have Tokyo Godfathers by Satoshi Kon. I have Perfect Days, so that's one overlap for us.
Yes.
It's Such a Beautiful Day. I can't remember I always remember his name, but I'm just not gonna remember his name right now. It's an animated film. But then I have Bright Star by Jane Campion. I have We're All Going to the World's Fair by Jane Schoenbrunn. I have Nope by Jordan Peele. And then am I really gonna go with that one? I'm gonna switch out because originally I had put Museo by Alonso Ruiz Palacios, but I'm gonna switch it with 2046 by Wong Kar-wai. That's my Wong Kar-wai pick.
Dude, it is embarrassing how I've only seen like half of the films you just mentioned. Like even the ones that I'm aware of, like the Hertzfeld one, It's Such a Beautiful Day. I haven't seen that one. I've only seen that like the shorts.
That's oh my god.
And yeah, a bunch of them where I've seen other films from the filmmaker. Like I haven't even seen Patterson. I haven't sat down
movie
for it. I gotta go see it because Jim Jarmusch has a new one in Venice, and I do want to be a bit more familiar with his filmmaking before I go see that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, again, great list, but I can't really judge. I haven't seen a lot of them yet.
I gotta be the first person you tell about that
right
movie.
After Kevin, because he's probably going to be sitting next to me, but you'll be the second. You'll definitely be the second, because like Kevin comes out of the theater usually like pokes me and goes like, "What did you think? What did you think?" Like every time.
Right.
But yeah, those are our picks. Let us know what the 10 films are that you submit. Yeah, what else is there? Like I think the other big thing is that there was the amount of discourse around this was, every 10 years there's the discussion around the Sight and Sound list. Like actually a friend of mine was in the most recent consensus. Like he had his picks in there, which was really cool. I was like, I know someone who submitted, right. And hopefully in like 20 years time we can do the same. That would be such an honor. I'd have 10 great picks. I gotta say, like, just to pitch myself here a bit, and I know Conno'r would have great picks too. But there was also the public vote, right? People could just submit their own stuff, which led to, like, at spot number 100 we got something very popular, one of the most like highest grossing films of all time, with or maybe even still the highest grossing of all time, with Avengers Endgame. Right. That one's up there, which is it's something. It is certainly a thing that happened. I don't know. I feel like if you have to decide for an MCU film, I think Black Panther was on the list as well. Wouldn't have had that in there, but I get for the sort of like, mainstream like black-led action hero blockbuster movie, it is such a like step forward to have that sort of thing be as successful, be as good, and all that. I definitely wouldn't be on my list, but I can understand why that's on there. With Avengers Endgame, that's just a conclusion to like a multi-billion dollar saga, and like, I think Infinity War was so much better. So like, I don't know if you had to pick. But yeah,
to me, I just feel like it's not really like necessary.
Yeah, I think it's had its acolytes. It's made its billions. I'm just gonna. I actually made a mistake. I said like only like 9 of my picks were on the list. One of them that is actually not on the official like top 100, but on the fan voted one is Perfect Days. That's at 83. But yeah, there's some other notables omissions that were on the public vote, which is Midsommar, The Holdovers, The Lighthouse, Howl's Moving Castle, The Incredibles, Knives Out, Drive My Car, Top Gun Maverick, Dune Part 1, Barbie, Perfect Days, Mean Girls, The Prestige, The Handmaiden, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Blade Runner 2049, Hereditary, Little Women, Django Unchained, Sinners, Pride and Prejudice, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Dune Part 2, La La Land, and Lord of the Rings Return of the King. And you can definitely see there's the other 2 Lord of the Rings films that weren't on there. Pride and Prejudice is something that is widely beloved, that is like a bit older, and then Mean Girls is on here, but the rest is pretty much all recency bias, I'd say. Howl's Moving Castle maybe not, but the rest is all like 2019 and forward.
Right. I mean, recency bias is a problem. I mean, the only thing is that when we were mentioning how long it takes for something to be a classic, I feel like when we're talking about like what the general consensus is around movies, especially from people that don't, when they think about movies, they think about like the IMDb top like 100 or whatever, and that's like pretty much all they think about. Um, a lot of the
Yeah.
time, it's like, especially right now, like when a movie comes out, like Sinners, it comes out and people are like, "This is the best movie to
I mean,
ever
this was also,
exist."
they were pulled right at, like a month after
Right.
Sinners came out, so it
Mhm.
was fresh in the mind. And I think it's all also a lot of these picks. I would say that like for a couple of people in the last 4 years, maybe even pre-COVID, there was the at max maybe 4 movies a year that are like the big talking points, and a Barbie would be a part of that. Like the both of the Dune movies would fall into that. Like Spider-Verse falls into that, and this year's definitely Sinners falls into that like category. That it does make sense that they get like pulled into the publicly voted list. And then there's always this somewhat odd outlier like Drive My Car, which for some reason is like a great movie. I love that film, but it to me doesn't scream that is going to connect with like a very large audience. That the letterboxd audience, even that is surprising to me. And it feels like often there is like the one international film that people are like gravitating towards, and like this is our pick, this is what we go for. And yeah, I don't know, it happens basically every year, right?
Right.
But yeah, then it's really great to see that like the official list had a lot of like international cinema that I wasn't even familiar with. And the sort of wider range of international theater cinema, not just like the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons of it all.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, was also on the list. I think at spot number 16.
Which is valid. I think
Yeah,
it's certainly very valid.
definitely. Yeah. All right. Anything else that I guess we wanted to go over?
I mean,
we talked about
I feel like
Yep.
we went through a lot of stuff involving like the technicalities of this list, as well as like ballots, stuff about like what makes a classic. I feel like we've gone through most of everything. I mean, my only thing about this list, and I imagine you might have something else to say,
Mhm.
but my only thing is that I just wish that the more obscure picks, like Elephant and these kind of like really like special like little like picks that a lot of these directors would just put in just to show their taste, could have shown up. But like I understand that like you can't, like it's 100. You're polling like 500 or however many critics and celebrities and all this kind of stuff, and it makes sense that you know basically the only things that would pop up in that like top like 20 or whatever are going to be like stuff that is in the modern canon. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
which
Maybe
then
that's
is yeah. But then you still have these surprises in here. I think it's not like that doesn't show up. But it to me was very validating to see how much like stuff that I truly love was also on this list. And I think in like an AMA over on Reddit, they did go into a bit more detail of how they pulled this. They obviously like reached out to these actors, directors, screenwriters, and all that through the agents and through the contact list, and got to about like 500-ish. So it's definitely like, I think overall for the industry still a pretty small sample size, but you have like a lot of big names that you are like pulling from. And getting 10 picks, that list wouldn't be that interesting because it would just be the ones that get mentioned the most at the very top. So I think to like weigh the choices, still they had them like take a quiz online as well, that I think a version of this you can also take on New York Times. I don't know if it's behind a paywall again, probably. But that like helped them weigh like Parasite all the way to the top, and then maybe some other films who might have made it onto the list if maybe some people hadn't voted against it, who didn't have it in their 10. I think that's like how a lot of these like niche picks get like ended up making the cut and not making the cut. They didn't reveal like specifically like what their formula was to create the list, but I mean, from what we got, I think we got some great ones on here. And I also just realized that earlier in the show, when I asked you about what Alfonso Cuaron movies are on the list, I made a mistake. because Roma is on the list.
Oh,
I just
okay.
glossed over it. So
Dang.
Cuaron is up there with the Coen Brothers and PTA having 4 movies on there.
Damn. You
Yeah.
lied to me.
I did lie to you. I completely just like, because it's right next to Almost Famous and under Amélie, and then also above 12 Years a Slave. So all of these like are very striking posters, and Roma just kind of in its black and white thing. Because at one point I was like, I almost made the question up of like, is there a black and white movie in there? And I scrolled through and I was like, no, there's no black and white movie. So I missed it twice actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming clean. I don't think there's any other movie that is in black and white. Inside Llewyn Davis isn't in black and white, right?
No.
It's just very.
It looks
gray.
very gray. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say on this as well. It's something that keeps on giving. I think these collections of lists like we've talked about now for the runtime of the show is always super valuable, and hopefully we've talked about some films that maybe you hadn't heard of before or you weren't sure if it's worth checking out. I can vouch for pretty much like all of the films on this list. I think it's definitely a like great collection of like getting into it, maybe even more so than it is with the Letterboxd 250, which is pretty intense at times, and also ever shifting and very much influenced on certain countries being really like on to like, for example, the How to Make Millions If Grandma Dies, that like I think Thai movie from last year is like at spot number 101, and it's just like it's not that type of movie. It doesn't need to be in that, but it is in the Letterboxd 250 just because, you know, it's a social media site, and the IMDb thing has like its stagnated form that's just Shawshank is it's the best of all time, and it's not really moving from there. So like, you know, updating this, and with Sight and Sound you get it every 10 years, this was another like nice entry into it to maybe the more recent cinema that you should go check out. Anything else? Any closing notes?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I'm really satisfied with how the list turned out. I feel like in terms of just how the discourse panned out with this list, I don't think it was as crazy as like as really any other like 100 of all time list I've seen.
Yeah,
I know it's like 21st century, but like I feel like the one note I would add is just that like Nope should be included. I feel like that's like the big Jordan Peele movie that like has garnered so much acclaim over the past like I think it's been 4 years. I can't even remember when it came out at this point.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 years, 2-3 years. I don't know. It's too late into the show to check what year Nope came out. But I think I don't know if I said this already, but Nope is 104 on the public list. But it was deemed by the public voters that Endgame is the better movie than Nope. Obviously.
Great.
Obviously.
So Endgame, it will be so important in the next 20 years.
It at least got very close to being like up there on the actual list. It's also interesting because I think Us was like, people were like, oh yeah, it's lesser Jordan Peele, but it's still like really great. But I feel like Nope has kind of definitely surpassed that, where people are like, oh no, Nope is actually better than Get Out, when Get Out is still like that very popular film. Now, I don't think I have anything else to mention other than like what is on schedule for the next couple of weeks on the podcast. Obviously, we're still on the bi-weekly schedule, and the next time you'll see Conno'r, it will actually be in a month, I believe, for Death Stranding 2. You guys, without me, Lachlan, Kevin, and you are going to talk about that game in full on detail. I can leak that. I think Kevin beat it in like 50 something hours, around 60, and Lachlan put in 104.
Yeah.
Apparently he has like, and he's not done yet, and I think he's walking everywhere. I think they both at like the same time were like, oh, I'm done with something. I don't know, you got more information. I have never played any Kojima game, and you guys are gonna take that over, and it's a bit of like because Kojima is so close, I assume you guys are also going to talk about like his love for film and all that.
Oh yeah.
But then on the next podcast, episode 232, will just be Kevin and me talking about how we attend the film festival. By then, the press schedule for Venice will have released, and we might even include some bits, some like, you know, not just like one big recording, but we'll maybe give you a bit of like an overview of how it is to like how we schedule out what we go see, how we apply and all that, like how we book accommodation, to hopefully make it a bit more graspable of how we got into these festivals in the first place and how we go about like covering them, attending them and all that. I don't see a ton of that like being discussed online, and whatever it is being done, I feel like it is either a vlog or it is lackluster, so hopefully we can fill you in a bit on that. And yeah, and then after that, I think we're already like in the middle of September. I'm not adjusted to like the podcast being bi-weekly and it taking so long for a new episode to come out, but by then we might even have the latest PTA film, and if I can get you guys in, we might even discuss what the best Paul Thomas Anderson movie is. I think that would be like a highly contentious debate that could involve all four of us, but I digress. That's too far into the future. For now, you can just be excited about, I guess, the really stacked lineup of 2025 movies that have yet to release. And we're going to end the podcast on a note that I started to like end most of my videos on, which is just to keep on watching movies, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you in a month.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit.